Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing really well today. It is Wednesday. They are counting the votes in America today. So let's keep an eye out on that and see what's happening. Just to let you know, I've been trying to upload a video since Monday, but because I'm actually caring for my mum this week, it just has not gone smoothly at all. There's been all these interruptions from health visitors, etc. So I've just had to kind of defer to doing it today. But I need to make sure I definitely get it up today. And hopefully I'll either upload another video between Friday and Saturday because I want to stick to my 2 videos a week promise. Life, eh? So, how many of you watch Friends, right? I watch Friends. I got into Friends because there's somebody else I knew who was a big Friends fan. And they did a poll recently, I think it was like within the last 18 months, for the Friends fans over here in the UK to select which was their favourite episode out of all of the seasons. And the one they chose was the one where Ross was struggling to get up his stairs in his building with his huge sofa, and he kept on yelling out, "Pivot! Pivot! Pivot! Pivot!" They said that was their favourite one. And that expression came to mind when I was thinking about what it is I want to talk about today. So, as we know, the pandemic has caused a lot of problems for a lot of people, to put it very mildly. There is mass unemployment. People have been let go from their jobs. People have had to move out of their houses and go and live back with their relatives or friends or couch surf even. And people find themselves in a very unique, challenging and difficult situation. There's a gentleman I know, and he'd been in the company that he was in, I want to say, yeah, he told me he'd been there for 13 years. Let me just say 13 years. That's how long he'd been there. And he was like a crucial element of that company. He was really a key person. You know, like how when you think of a brand, a name comes to mind. So for example, if I said Apple, everyone automatically says Steve Jobs. He was that kind of a person. If anyone said to me the name of that company, there'd be 4 people's faces that spring to my mind, and his face would be one of them. So I was really stunned when he told me that he had lost his job as a result of this pandemic. I thought out of all the people within that organization that'd be let go, he would definitely not be one of them. I was wrong. Still, I'm quite surprised, actually. Still very surprised, but it's happened. And I'm sure the surprise I have, the shock that he felt, is mirrored all over the globe, as people who thought they had occupations for the rest of their lives found themselves in a situation where they are out of a job. Some have never ever been unemployed in their life. Some have never been made redundant in their life. So this is new territory for masses and masses of people. And the interesting thing about this friend of mine I'm talking about is that he's 60. So I know that he will not be able to get another job again. I don't know of any companies that are recruiting 60-year-olds because he's close to retirement age. So we were having a conversation. I was thinking, wondering like what he was going to do. And he said that what he's been doing is like he's taking all of his experience and he's packaging it, and he's going to produce something online that people can download and use for their businesses in a particular way. I was really pleased actually that he was using wisdom and recognizing that that job that he thought he was going to retire from is gone. It will never return. They are not going to have him back because they just don't have the finances to fund his position. So he's had to pivot. He's had to find a whole other way of living. He's now found himself in a position where he's now an entrepreneur at the age of 60. He never, ever saw himself as being an entrepreneur, but this situation has caused masses of people to have to take steps in directions that they never, ever thought they'd ever go down. So I was thinking about all the people now that have been hit by the pandemic who have had to pivot. If they're in a top job, they may now have to create something that for a while will not make them the kind of money that they were used to earning. They may not have the level of prestige or once upon a time used to enjoying. But that's just the way it is. They've had to pivot. My friends had to pivot and become an entrepreneur in order to survive. He's got a mortgage, he's got bills to pay. The problem comes for people who've intermarried their identity with their occupation. Who they are is what they do, and what they do is who they are. But our occupation and our identity as individuals aren't one and the same. I know in society people are celebrated if they're in a particular position or they've been educated in a particular Ivy League school or they live at a particular address. But if you just strip all that away and then ask yourself, who am I? What is left? That's a conversation that thousands upon thousands of people are having with themselves right now because they've never had to consider that before. They never knew that something would come and completely shatter the foundations that they were standing on, the pillars that they built everything on. They never ever dreamed that one day all of that would be gone and they'd have to start from scratch or do an about turn and do something completely different to what they're used to doing. Many people are having to pivot. Some are struggling with it. Some are flourishing with it. Some are surprising themselves with how well they've adjusted to this situation and the opportunities that have now been opened up to them as a result of them being forced out into the great unknown as a result of this pandemic. I don't know what your situation is. Your situation might be very, very severe. You might have lost everything, your home, your job. You might have to, I don't know, go back to your country of origin, go back and live in your parents' house. I don't know. I'm not saying to be, unfeeling or anything. I'm just suggesting that look at all of your skills, not just your educational skills, your life experience skills, the skills you've picked up on your current job or the job that you've now been made redundant from, and look and see how you can package all of that and make it into a business. There's got to be a way that your skills right here, right now, can still be monetized. As far as I know, pretty much every industry, every business, no matter how big or small, has a global window online. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of all the social media platforms there are. Take advantage of all of the free courses that are offered online. Take advantage of Instagram. Take advantage of YouTube. All of these things, when used correctly, can actually propel you a lot further than you were before. If you found yourself in a situation where the job that you once thought that you had for life, or at least for a lot longer than you did have, is gone, take out a bit of paper and pen or get on your laptop and start jotting down what skills you have. What qualities do you have? Look at your education. Look at the different jobs that you've done. What life skills do you have? What voluntary work have you done? Is there some kind of business that you can put together using some or all of the skills that you've acquired over the years? I think you'll find that you have a lot more to offer than you previously thought. The pandemic definitely doesn't have to be a bad thing. It is a bad thing in that people are losing their lives. But in terms of people losing their jobs, if they stopped and really trusted that they have a lot to offer, we see a lot more entrepreneurs coming to the fore. I believe that with this second lockdown that's coming, people are genuinely, definitely going to have to look and see what can they do? How will they have to pivot in order to survive this current climate? A lot of pivoting is going to have to be done by a lot of people, a lot of pivoting. And again, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You'd be surprised actually at how amazing your life could be now that you've taken it in your own hands and you're doing things that you never ever dreamed possible. Don't think that you can't be an entrepreneur simply because you've worked for somebody your entire life. It's not so. You just probably never had the opportunity to explore that. But now, with a lot of people being laid off, now that we're back going into a second lockdown, use this opportunity to see what business you can run for yourself. I would always encourage people to try and do something for themselves. For me personally, I found there's no greater sense of fulfillment than knowing that the money I have in my account comes from my own ideas, comes from something I am doing for myself. There is no greater satisfaction for me. I remember when I was doing some freelance writing for some high net worth women, and there's two things that they said that I'd never heard before. The first thing was that we should have 8 streams of income. I'd never heard that before, ever. Because I said, well, if this one dries up, you've got that one. If that one dries up, you've got that one. If that one dries up, you've got that one. At the time that we were having this event, it was during a recession. And so they're explaining how some of them had been hit by the recession, but not massively because they had other backup streams of income that could very easily supplement the one that they lost. So that was the first time I heard that I put that on the back burner. But the second thing that they said that really stuck with me was that the newest crop of entrepreneurs are born during a recession. In our scenario, the newest crop of entrepreneurs are going to arise out of this pandemic because we've had to find completely different ways of working, completely different ways of communicating, completely different ways of making an income. This is a very exciting time if seen the right way. I'm talking purely in terms of becoming an entrepreneur. If we look at this the right way, then we'll see that the pandemic doesn't have to have the devastating effects that people are predicting that it will have on us. Everything changes. Even if it wasn't the pandemic that's caused these things to happen in our life, we need to recognize that things change all the time. Just as we have the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, so the same with our lives. It's not always going to be spring. It's not always going to be summer. It won't always be autumn, and it won't always be winter. The seasons will change, and we need to adapt to those changes when they come. Pivot. Which way do you need to pivot? If you're not pivoting because you're afraid of what that direction looks like, just face the direction and then find out as you go. This is just now simply a new chapter of our lives. What we write on those pages is entirely up to us, but we all have entered into a new chapter of our life. I personally feel very hopeful. I personally believe there's a lot of great things that are going to happen to people despite all of this craziness. I'm not an idealist, I'm a realist. I know that when people's backs are up against the wall, that's when they come out fighting. That's when they tend to dig deep and bring up the jewels that are there all the time. Specifically with regards to losing your job, possibly for the very first time ever, it doesn't have to mean that it's all over. My friend is starting his life as an entrepreneur at the age of 60. Who would have thought it? Certainly not him, but that's where he is right now. I'm sure for many other people, they're finding themselves in brand new territory, but they're making a go of it. And as they're deciding to step into that, they're surprised at what they're finding. That actually, this isn't such a bad situation to be in after all. Had the pandemic not happened, they'd have been quite happy to go the next 20 or 30 years of their life, not really going beyond the horizon to see what else is there, not really tapping into themselves to find out what else they had, what else they were capable of doing, what other adventures lay beneath all of the normal that they were used to. So if you've had to pivot, many of us have had to as well, so you're not alone. Pivoting isn't going backwards. It's just you're having to adjust to a situation that no one ever saw coming. We've gone from everything being so normal and we've just been drifting along. We're used to getting our paychecks monthly. We're used to being able to go to any restaurant we want. We're used to being able to go here and do this, that, and the other. But now we're having to rethink how we do everything. Admittedly, for a period of time, not necessarily for forever, but for this period of time, for sure, for as long as it lasts, we are going to have to pivot in pretty much every single area of our life. But that isn't always such a bad thing. It can feel like it is because it's not what we wanted to do, and this isn't what we planned to do. But how many know that life comes along and just like knocks our plans sideways sometimes? And sometimes that ends up being for our good. So I hope that encourages you. Pivot! 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 Pivot. I think the next 12 months could be quite interesting for many of us, professionally, personally, financially, in every way, in every area of our lives. The next 12 months could be very, very interesting. So I hope you understood what I was trying to say. I hope that's come across. Again, I'm one of these people, I can hear it in my head, but I'm not quite sure that the words are coming out the way I mean them all the time. So let me know that whether or not you understood what I was saying. So if you've had to make some massive change, some way, shape or form in your life, please feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. And as always, don't forget to like, comment. I love reading your comments. I need to tell you something about those comments in a minute. So it's like, subscribe, and comment. With regards to the comments, I had to shift my YouTube platform from a personal to a branding format. I had to shift it over the weekend. And what that means is where I replied to your comments, my replies have now all been wiped away for every single video I've ever done. I have no clue why that is, but they do warn you that's what's going to happen. I don't know why they haven't fixed that up until now, but that's the way it is, unfortunately. So if you're looking for a reply I gave to a statement you made, I'm sorry, but it's been wiped off. If you'd like me to go back and reply to any particular comment that you've made, please let me know. But that's what's happened. I can't do anything about that, so I do apologize for that, but I just thought I'd let you know that's what's happened. Okay, so enjoy the rest of the day, and I will see you again either Friday, hopefully Friday, or Saturday, but I'm hoping it's going to be Friday. So you take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.